geez, this just feels like a winnable game now, doesn't it? I think Hawthorn getting the jump on the Dogs at Marvel Stadium last week, obviously it's put the Dogs under crazy pressure. They've been the media scrutiny talk all week, but it just makes this game feel so much more winnable, doesn't it? And I'll talk about the ins and outs and outside now in a second, but wow, I don't know, maybe I'm a true optimist. I always try and find ways to find positivity and and heading into games and even after games if we lose, I try to find the positive aspects of it because otherwise you dwindle and dwell too much on the negatives. But I'm being genuine when I say this. It really feels like we're a chance here. We know the Dogs aren't as good on the MCG as they are at Marvel. They were exposed by Hawthorn at Marvel Stadium, so why not? Why not? Is all I'll say. But I'll get into it. Obviously, I mentioned some of the ins, and it feels like some of the cavalry is on their way back. We've got Meatball, Prestia, obviously Jack Graham, and Noah Bolter. So finally, a key forward that plays probably a little bit more like a key forward, which is exciting, not just because Noah Bolter will be back in the team, but McKelty Lafau, who I think has been Richmond's rising star this season. Like he's come from just about nowhere in a sense, and he's taken the team by storm. He's playing good football. He competes hard, and him not having the number one key back now is going to take just an absolute weight off his shoulders. And I'm excited to see what he plays like with Lynch in the team as well. If all three of them have a crack at it, because he will just be able to run a bit more freely and hopefully do his thing, which I'm excited for. So Noah Bolter coming into the team is obviously going to help McKelty a lot. Having Noah in there is going to help us a lot. He'll be another target, another key forward to, if not mark, but bring the ball to ground, not let us get outmarked down there. And then let, blokes like Shea, Dusty, Morris really do their thing at ground level. Ryan Mansell, another one. So stoked. Yeah, really stoked. I think it's going to be... Again, it's on paper, we probably shouldn't win. The Dogs need to bounce back. You can look at it that way, like they got a fire in their belly. I don't understand how come every time there's a coach under pressure, we tend to come up against that side. But it's a challenge. It's a challenge. We're obviously not going to win a massive amount of games this year, but these are the scalps that while they're an opportunity, while they're in front of us, I really want to see us take them by the horns and go nuts with it. So we'll get into the game. Like I said, we've got those ins. Libba is out for the Dogs. Libba is out for the Dogs, which is massive for us because strength, their clearance work is their strength. They beat teams up around the ball. They win the footy at the source. They're super highly ranked in points scored from stoppage and centre bounce. I'm pretty sure on the weekend they were ranked number one in the competition and they lost the game. So they're really going to be able to hurt us there if we're not careful. Obviously, being the MCG, bigger grounds, hopefully we can bring a bit of spread into the game and obviously, make it feel a lot wider for them rather than that closer impact game that you get at Marvel. But we're still going to obviously have to keep an eye out for that one there. I think we're going to have to really engage their backmen. I think, who was it? James Sicily for the Hawks. He went forward and really made Liam Jones think about where he was going to be. And I think if we can keep him accountable and keep their backmen accountable, then we could give ourselves a real chance up forward as well. We've obviously got some star power up there. We've got Bolter and McKelty as our two keys, which, finally a little bit of height down there. But then obviously, like I mentioned before, we've got the blokes around him. We've got Shea, we've got Dusty. Morris is having a great season as well. He's another one rising star for the Tigers. So we got options, which is really good. I think our backline for the most part holds up okay. Obviously, up and down performances here and there, but I think for the most part, not too bad. And, when the amount of footy that was coming in, like especially against Fremantle, I didn't get to the game. I had to work, unfortunately. But watching the replay back, I thought, oh, geez, I'm glad I didn't get there. But I think they just sort of had their way with us, which was a real shame. And you take learnings from games like that, and you hope that you can bring those into the next ones, which is where we find ourselves now. But I think the biggest way we're going to win this game is by turnover. And you look at the game they lost on the weekend against Hawthorn, who again, Hawthorn you would say is in a similar position to us. They're probably deeper into a rebuild. Not that we're technically rebuilding, but they're deeper into a rebuild at the moment. They're sort of tipped to finish bottom 3, bottom 4. So they shouldn't be beating a team like the Dogs, who in their eyes, should be playing finals football. So they beat them, and it was by turnover, and I think it was that fast-paced ball movement. If you watch the game back, it was erratic, the way they moved the ball forward, and it's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to bring that fast style of footy back, and we've done it in the past. We've done it, in phases and stages this year, and I think it's just about if we can bring it consistently, and even if we can even it up in the centre and then win it on the turnover, I think it's going to go a really long way to us winning this game. And again, that's going to come down to a lot of our fast guys as well. Like a lot of the speed that we can put on the footy with Shea, Morris, etc. It's going to go a seriously long way to us winning the turnover and getting it up forward and hopefully finding a target, which has been a massive issue, is our ball use inside 50. Like we have opportunities, we have inside 50s. It's just that connection that we really struggle with at the moment. Hopefully Bolter being back in really helps with that. And this is one I really like. So I was listening to the Talking Tigers podcast, and Richo made a really good point. Obviously, I'm just about listening to anything Richo says, but he made a good point. He was talking about, what do we do about Bontempelli? He's probably the best player in the game right now, absolute superstar, and we know how damaging he can be. And then you look at, who have we got that can sort of match up on him? The first one that springs to my mind, Jack Graham. He's been a run-with player before, and he's targeted, key midfielders from other teams and sort of limited the influence. But one I didn't mind, and we saw him do it a few weeks ago. I can't remember who he went to, but he did it a few weeks ago, and I didn't mind it. And it could be a role for him now, especially, where his position in the side is a little bit up and down and we're not too sure. But that's Marlon Pickett. And Richo was the one that said this, and I just tend to agree with it. So you look a few weeks back when Bulldogs played Essendon, and Sam Durham went to Bont and really was able to limit that influence that he was having on the game. Do we send Marlon to him and hopefully do something similar? They're a similar height. Marlon's very strong. He can probably match Bont with speed, you'd think. Airily, both really good. So I think they're a great matchup, I should say. And it could be one we go with, whether we do it the whole game or just, if Bont starts to get onto us a little bit, then maybe send him to him, try and nullify him a little bit more. Because Bont, obviously, he's going to be one of the first ones to put his hand up after the week the Bulldogs have had and say, let's do this. Let's jump on my back. I'll take you all the way. So if we can start with someone like Bont, it's going to go, like I said, a massive, massive way to doing it. The Bulldogs, they're hard to get a read on because, 1 week they come out, they'll beat St Kilda by 60, 70 points, and then the next week they'll lose to Hawthorn and, really battle against some other lower teams. So I'm not sure how to read into it. It's an interesting one because you could look at it in so many different ways, but I do seriously think that we could be a chance here. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. It's Saturday night. Please get there. Someone was telling me that they might be closing all of level 4, which so disappointing. We've got the 92,000 members this year. We're building, obviously not winning many games, but let's get to the footy. Let's not take it for granted. Obviously, we've come from a super successful period and we're dwindling a little bit now, but it's not the time to drop off. That's the time to stick fat with the team, get there, support them, because it's no secret. Like, look at the teams that are doing well at the moment and the crowds that they're getting. It's no secret the fans are a big driving force behind that. Obviously, the talent is there. It's not going to happen without talent, but the crowds being there makes all the difference. And you can see it on game day. You can hear it and you can feel it. So, if you're not doing anything Saturday night, perfect opportunity to get to the football. And it's a good chance for a win as well. I mean, we didn't think we were going to beat Sydney a few weeks ago and we rocked up and did that at the G. So let's do it. Let's get there. Make it a big occasion. Again, so much on the line for both teams. Like for Richmond, probably just need a win for a bit of morale boost, get the fans up and about. It's something to look forward to again as well, just because, it is flattening when you lose week after week. And with the injuries we've had, I guess Uze's almost had a free pass in his first year as coaching in the sense that he can try different things. And, it's probably not the expectation that we will win many games. But if we can get sneaky ones like this, and I think it's going to go a long way to giving the fans a little bit of hope as well. And then on the Dogs' point of view, the pressure I've spoken about all night, they've been copping it all week. They'll be ready to bounce back hard, and no doubt, they're licking their lips thinking, well, Richmond are bottom side. They've got hardly any of their players in. Should be a walkover job, which I'm hoping they're thinking that, because if you look at the way we've competed all season, for the most part, I've been really proud of our efforts. Now, you can look at, some of the young guys and mistakes that they've made and phasing in and out of games. And again, I think that comes down to youth, but I think the effort for majority of it, I think the effort has been there. And I think you can see the boys really do want to play for Uze. So I'm excited for the potential of what could happen. Obviously, still a couple of days away. We don't know what's going to unfold, if there are going to be any changes made. Obviously, it's Thursday, the day I'm doing this, so I knew the ins and outs. Obviously, there was whispers all week, but it'll be interesting. Hopefully, no late changes unless it's a Bulldogs one. And, hopefully see you at the footy as well. If you do, see me, come say good day. It'd be great to meet anybody that, that does watch. I really appreciate all the support. I say that all the time. Make sure Wednesday nights also, I'm going to give a plug. Jump over to the Forever Rivals is the name of the show. Nearly forgot. The channel is the Jumper Punch. It is a Carlton-based channel, but we do a show on a Wednesday night where one supporter from each of the big four clubs jumps on, and we honestly just banter. We give it to each other. We talk about the games, talk about the footy, and I could really use some Richmond support. So if you're not doing anything on a Wednesday night, jump on over to the YouTube, get in the comments, say good day, have your say. It's a really good opportunity to do so. It's about 2.5 hour show, so plenty of time, plenty of opportunity to get on. 7:30 Wednesday nights on the Jumper Punch channel. It should be in the link, or the link should be in the bio. Sorry, I'm not used to this YouTube stuff. Link should be in the bio, so check that out there. Again, that's pretty much all I've got for this one. It's a big opportunity for a win, so fingers crossed. Let's get to the G, really cheer him on. But until the next video, thank you again very much for watching, and go Tigers.